Welcome to Balancing with Brittany, the space where you learn to show up for yourself with power, softness, and purpose. I'm Brittany, your guide on this journey of self-growth, somatic healing, mindset mastery, and becoming the woman you know you're meant to be. Every week, we dive into the habits, the inner work, and the life shifts that help you create real, sustainable balance. Because when you choose you, everything changes. Let's get into it. Welcome back. If you're new here, this podcast is all about learning how to balance growth, healing, discipline, and real life without pretending it's easy or aesthetic all the time. This episode is called Becoming Her Without Apologizing. And if that title makes you feel just a little bit uncomfortable, good. It means you're probably in the middle of becoming someone new. Because growth, it doesn't change your habits. It changes your standards, your boundaries, and your tolerance, and sometimes the way people experience you. And that can be really uncomfortable, not just for you, but also the people around you. It can make relationships change. It can remove relationships, add relationships. All of this is subject to change. And today I want to talk about what it actually looks like to step into your next version without shrinking, softening, or over-explaining yourself. If you're anything like me, I was a huge people pleaser way back in the past. It's taken me 6-7 years to kind of get to this point. And it is a journey for sure, but it's doable, and I'm going to help guide you along the way. Something people don't normally talk about is becoming her usually happens quietly, very silently, very behind the scenes. It's not some big announcement. It's not a dramatic transformation overnight. It takes sometimes a really long time, months, years even, sometimes decades or a decade. It's subtle little shifts. So what you stop entertaining is what you no longer react to, it's what you protect, right? So you start pausing instead of responding, and you start choosing yourself without making a big speech about it, without having some like, oh my gosh, look at how this has happened, right? You have these quiet reflection moments, which I think are super important in any new phase of your life, any entering into something new, whatever it is. Like, you have to have some sort of reflection to be able to continue on the journey and not make the same mistakes more than once. Sometimes we have to really, really learn. That's okay. It's your journey. It's what you go through. But sometimes we have to have that reflective moment and that pause to look into the future, recognize where we're at in the present, see what we can do in the present instead of focusing on the future, and also use the past as kind of a guide for ourselves as well on maybe how to do things differently, what to shift without taking it with us. Because, yeah, you can use the past as like a guide, as something to reflect upon, as something to kind of use as okay, well, this is what I did then, but I'd probably do it differently now, or how would I, do this now, as kind of like showing what your growth looks like now, and also how to go into your new season, your new era, whatever you want to call it, becoming you, the version of you that you truly desire, as a way to guide that, to like a compass in a way. So what not to do, what to do differently, whatever. But don't take that with you into the future. Don't use that in your present moment. Just know, because you can't change it. It is the past. It is what it is. Learn from it and move on. So that's okay to use it as a reflective point, as a comparison in a way, to see how much you've grown, see how far you've come, but don't use it as something that you carry with you as like dread or regret or anything like that, because you're only going to carry that into this new season and not become her. Sometimes people don't notice right away about this subtle shifts, but they'll feel it first. And you're not louder. It's not necessarily that you're colder, but you are just like, you're more grounded. You said what you said, you're standing on what you said, and that grounded energy, it doesn't need permission. One of the absolute hardest parts of becoming her is realizing that not everyone is going to get access to this new version of you. They don't get to hitch a ride along on the journey. They are booted out, which is kind of a mean way to put it, but they don't get access to that. And it sucks, and it makes it it makes it really hard to notice that and have that reflection, or have that understanding that they don't get to come along with you for you to keep going on the journey. It's either you stop where you're at and keep them with you, or you keep moving forward, and they don't get to jump on the wagon with you. As you change, people may call you distant, selfish, different, mean even, because you are no longer doing the things that the old version of you were doing, right? They're used to that version of you. Oh, it's fine, everything's great, I'm just going to keep allowing this to happen. And by not doing that, by continuously doing that, you are doing a disservice to yourself and your future self. You don't owe loyalty to a version of yourself you've outgrown. And sometimes growth means allowing people to remember how they want while you continue evolving anyways. So I'm going to clear something up really quickly. There's a big difference between confidence and ego. Confidence, it's not loud. Again, you said what you said, you've standing on that ground, but ego is where you have to go and over-explain. Ego is where you feel like you have to protect your image, who you are, whatever, based on one person's opinion. And it doesn't need validation. Confidence does not need validation. It doesn't need to convince anyone. Real confidence, it's calm, it's regulated, and it's knowing you don't have to prove your worth through exhaustion, overthinking, over-explaining, arguing, like all of these things you don't need to do, right? So if you're in a situation to where someone is pushing your boundaries or saying like, well, this is wrong, you're whatever, and you are allowed to stand 10 toes, toe to toe, bitch, on your decision. And for me, like, I try to make sure that every decision I make, I think through thoroughly, because confidence, having that confidence, spine straight sort of situation, like demeanor about me is very important to me. That is who I am. And so I stay and I show up as her. And be consistent. Let me rephrase that. I was going to say everyone loves a consistent queen, but no, people really don't love consistency because it makes them show up consistent. And sometimes when they feel like, oh, well, someone's showing up more than me, or someone's showing up in a way that I feel like I shouldn't or can't show up, then it makes someone else look bad, or it makes them think they're looking bad. And it says more about them than it does you. I promise you that. But showing up like if you say something, do it. If you say you're going to be this person, be it. If you are this person, you're going to show up as that person, right? We're no longer allowing old versions of ourselves to kind of sneak in. The habits that our future self or the her will have, those habits are the things you need to start on now, because they're not just going to overnight happen, right? So how would future me, how would this version of me show up? And that's a question you should be asking yourself a lot in this journey. And confidence, this kind of confidence can feel really uncomfortable, especially if you're used to being liked or being agreeable. But confidence isn't about being liked. It's about being aligned. And you might use this episode as a reminder that you don't need a justification for your boundaries. So no is a complete sentence, distance is a decision, rest is productive, and you don't have to like trauma dump to be understood. You don't have to give context for every choice you make. Becoming her, it just means you get to trust yourself enough to stand by your decisions, even when they're misunderstood. And honestly, the right people won't need an explanation. Okay, we're going to talk about grief a little bit. There is grief in stepping into your power and stepping into this new version of you. There's also grief that comes with becoming her, if you will. You grieve old dynamics, old comfort, and the old version of you that tolerated less because she didn't know better. And that grief doesn't mean you're doing the wrong thing. It actually means you're honoring the process, and you can love who you were and still choose who you're becoming. So I allow myself to grieve the past versions of myself. I allow myself to use that as like I love you. Thank you for showing me that this isn't okay, or thank you for, allowing me to move forward in who I am today. Thank you for teaching me lessons and just give her that love that she needed in the moment back then, of like, it's okay. Like, I understand that you're really just trying to keep the peace and you're really just trying to be the best, insert the daughter, wife, blah, 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 whatever that fits in for you. But like, allow, like, I get you were trying to be the best of that label or that person. You were trying to be the best at that, but it ended up costing you everything, or costing you your peace, costing you your confidence, costing you who you truly wanted to be. And we're no longer choosing that now. So you are allowed to relax, and you are allowed to just know that I got you, girl, and that we're moving forward now. And growth isn't about rejecting your past. It's about integrating it. It's about moving forward with intention. So if you're in a season where you're choosing yourself more, maybe speaking less, protecting your peace without the guilt, you're not cold, you're not selfish, you are becoming her. And becoming her doesn't require permission, just consistency, self-trust, and courage, and also a little self-compassion. I feel like that's a must in this situation. If this episode resonated with you, I want you to share it with someone who's stepping into the next version of themselves, or you feel like probably should kind of release some of the shit they're holding on to right now. So maybe they're doing it quietly, confidently, and unapologetically. If they need this, share it with them, and I'll talk to you in the next episode.